So let's say you wanted to use a finale, part of your finale document in your theory paper. So in your theory paper, you have to make it look a certain way. So first off, what I want to do is I want to get rid of a lot of times what you want to do, if I zoom in, you can see that a lot of times you don't want to see the stem. You just want to see the notes floating there to say this is a certain type of set, or this is important to the piece because of this, that, or the other. In part 2, I'll show you how to take it out as an image and move it into Illustrator, but for now we're just going to get it ready to take out as an image. So if I go to Special Tools, there's quite a few special tools, and once again, if you're not seeing it, Special Tool palette over here, you go to Window, make sure it's checked, and it'll appear. And we're going to use this guy. There's quite a few there. They all do different things, but today, all we're going to talk about is Stem Length tool. So when I click on that, I click in here. Now the stem length, I can just pull it down and I just hide the tip of the stem in one of the notes. You can zoom in manually using the control key and zoom it in. And I can pull it in there and do it like that. Pull it in here and do it like that. So now they're ready for the paper. Now there is a problem though. Like notice if I put in a we don't want these rests usually in a theory paper, and we don't want the bar lines. So the first thing I'm going to do is use the measure tool and to get rid of the bar lines. If I double click on the top one, notice I can pick invisible and hit OK, and now they're gone. The bottom one actually gives you, if you click on it, the beat spacing, so I can move the beats over if I wanted to. Very seldom that you want to do that, but if you do, that's how you do it. So double click the top, pick invisible, top one. Oops. You have to click it, hit invisible, and you can pick the bar line and the left bar line, either way you want. Okay, now notice something about the measure too. You see how we have these rests? If I double click in it, I have, in the staff tool, if I double click in it, notice I have the option, this is the staff tool, by the way, to display rests and empty measures. I can get rid of that. And now those rests are gone. Now I could have shown you how to do this another way, but I'd already entered in my chord, so what I'm going to show you is how to get rid of the rest, even though we're seeing them. Hit the O key, the letter O. H for hide works too. I use O for 0, H for hide, whatever you want to do. Now this is starting to look like a theory paper, but a lot of times we don't want to see the 4-4, right? So if I use the measure tool, click on this, show the time signature, always hide, hit OK, and now it's gone. There's only one problem. If I have this and I want to see this and I want to see this in the paper, if I put this second measure and this third measure, there's no clef. So whoever's reading my theory paper isn't going to know, oh, this is in the treble clef. So if I come to the Cleft tool, some of these are pretty self-explanatory. They look exactly like what they are. So the Cleft tool, come over here, double click in here, and I can pick my clef and pick always show the clef, and to make it not look a little skewed, I just make it always the clef size 100%, and then now check it out. Always show 100%. Okay, now that we have the beginning of our theory paper done, we need to get these clefs and chords out as images. So what we're going to do is come over to the graphics tool, which is this guy. Click on it and notice something always to keep in mind about finale is that when you change tools, this little thing changes. Now we're on speedy. Now we have this tab. We can change a bunch of speedy options. The graphics, there it's going to show up. So the point is, if you don't see this tab, it's because you don't have the graphics tool selected. So I'm going to zoom in the old-fashioned way, holding down Control and moving up like that. And I double-click and I drag. Now that's a little wonky to me. It's a little too much negative space there, so I'm going to try to get a little better. Whatever you cut is what you're going to get. And a lot of times you don't want this line or anything like that. You know, you want it to be a clean cut. So now you come up to graphics and hit export selection. You can export the whole page, which I'll show you later about Finale, how to like do your scores in Illustrator, or using Illustrator to help. But this is different. We're putting this into Microsoft Word first. The next one we'll put it into Illustrator and do some basic Illustrator things with it. So export selection from theory paper, and you can pick JPEG, TIFF, PIC. JPEG's just fine for this to go into Microsoft Word. Generate names from, you could have them generated like theory paper 1, theory paper 2, or prompt for each name. I tend to like to prompt for each name. Resolution of 300 is plenty. So I'm going to hit, and from 1 to 1. You could export them all, the pages separately. These are your choices, but we just want this little bit of our selection to export. So hit OK. Okay, now I'm going to put it in here under, make a new folder, and I'm going to call it theory. Oops. Images. Okay. I'm going to call it something like chord 1. I can do the same with the others. Export selection, chord 2, chord 3, and you can be as careful as you like. So now I just happen to have Microsoft Word open, so I'm going to bring Word over here, and we come up to the insert part of our insert tab, and then come down to picture from file, just like you would insert any picture into Word. So I'm going to come here to theory images, pick chord 1, insert it, and there it is in all its glory. Now it's not centered, so you could take this and hit center, or that might be a little too centered, or so it's just another piece of text or an image, or whatever, but it can move with the spacebar, as you see. So now I'm moving the spacebar. If you didn't see that, you can delete and move, and we're all good. And under here you could put something like Command B for bold, example. Oh, but you see now I'm here, which means I need to actually get under it, because your text will push it over because it's in the same line. So example 1, period, take off the bold, chord 1. That's normally how you want to make them look. You know, a bold explanation with a semicolon or just a period, and then what it's showing.